Hey everybody, welcome. Today we're going to talk about procrastination. Actually, I don't want to do that. No, I will, because I'm not going to procrastinate any longer, and I'm going to record this video for you because I'm sure as we head into 2021 there are many things that we've been putting off because quite frankly we just don't want to do them. Listen, I know exactly where you're coming from. Having to do my self-assessment tax return, it's got to be done by the end of January. Yeah, don't want to do that. Don't want to have to do many things like clean the bathroom. That's pretty horrible, isn't it? But it needs to be done. And let alone try and get fit and stay healthy. But you know what? I'm here to help you because there are simple ways that we can help stop so that you can become a productivity ninja. Well, maybe not ninja, but you should hopefully become far more productive than you are at the moment. At least you become less procrastinating, if that's even a word. And if you're new here, my name is Brendan. I'd really appreciate it if you just push the like button and perhaps click subscribe and make sure the little bell wobbles, because that just means that you'll get the content the moment it is released. So, how do we stop procrastination? Well, first off, do we know what procrastination is? You're probably sat there thinking, seriously, get on with it. You're procrastinating. You should just tell us how we overcome it. Well, I will. But we just need to make sure we know what procrastination is, because really, procrastination is fear manifesting itself in putting things off. If you were to break down everything that you are procrastinating about, is it a fear of not wanting to do it, a fear of failure, a fear that somebody might think something about you, a fear that you just don't know what you're doing, a fear of imposter syndrome, a fear of just things going wrong? Probably a combination of all of those. But procrastination doesn't have to rule your life. Now, there will always be elements that you want to put off because sometimes people work better under pressure. And if you're one of those people, then just make sure that you can control your procrastination and it's part of your daily lifestyle and not actually overcoming your life and just making sure that you're putting off stuff that you really need to sort out now. If you are not one of those fortunate people and procrastination is taking over your life, let's really hope that's not the case, then I'm here to help, because there is one simple trick that will help you break that procrastination cycle. And that is the 2-minute rule. That's it. 2 minutes. That's all you need to do. Actually, take a step back. The 2-minute rule can be credited to James Clear in the great book Atomic Habits. He talks about how to create habits, and I would highly encourage you to read it because it is one of those books that makes you sit back and think, bloody hellfire, I wish I'd read this 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Actually, it wasn't written 20 years ago. Anyway, I wish I'd read it earlier. Quite simply, the 2-minute rule states that all new habits should take less than 2 minutes to do. Hey, how does that even work? If you set yourself a number of new habits in the form of New Year's resolutions, or you've decided to implement some new habits and maybe push out some old ones, what are they? Let's take, for example, you want to read more. So you want to read a book. Okay, fine. So rather than saying, I'm going to read for 30 minutes every evening, the 2-minute rule becomes, I'm going to read 1 page. Okay, sounds plausible. If you're going to do yoga every day, then rather than saying I'm going to do 30 minutes of yoga and become all super stretchy and bendy, the 2-minute rule is, I'm going to take out my yoga mat. Conversely, if you're studying for exams or trying to learn a new language, rather than saying I'm going to spend 30 minutes working really hard and I'm going to try and concentrate a lot to take in more of the knowledge, well, the 2-minute rule would be, say, open your notes. What you're trying to do is make things as easy as possible. Now, you probably sat there thinking, Brendan, you're just oversimplifying and just doing it for 2 minutes. What's that really going to do? And that's a fair question. What I'm trying to tell you is break it down into the most simple constituent part that gives you the best chance of succeeding in that small step. I mean, you know the old Chinese proverb, every journey begins with a first step. That's not right. 1,000 steps begins with the first step. It's not right anyway. Anyway, to begin a journey, you've got to take the first step. And that's what we're trying to do here. If you were to take the hardest element that you wanted to do and break it down into the easiest element, what does that look like? So let's say we're going to run a marathon. Okay, so the marathon is 26.2 miles. That's the hardest. What's the slightly easier step? Half marathon. Okay, maybe not that much easier. Easier than that? It's a 10k. Okay, easier than 10k? It's a 5k. Easier than 5k? It's probably a run round the block. Easier than that? It's actually walk out the door. Okay, that's probably slightly easier, but what's even easier than that? Put on your trainers. Even easier than that? find your bloody trainers, then put your trainers on. So you've taken this potentially big and scary habit or goal that you're trying to go after and break it down into the smallest constituent chunk. Now, if you're able to get yourself to put your trainers on and walk out the door, the chances are that you'll run round the block or you'll run to the end of the street and back. Happy days! Because that means that you've started. You've made it easy, although it might not feel like it's easy. But you've started creating an identity of where you want to be, not where you are. Part of the 2-minute rule is to make sure that you do it for a minimum of 2 minutes. As the name suggests, otherwise it would be called the 3-minute rule, which obviously doesn't sound quite as cool. But if that feels a little bit forced, and you're a little bit dubious around, if you start it for 2 minutes, I don't really want to keep going, or you're trying to think of other things, or it's just a bit difficult to get going, well, why don't you actually do it strictly for 120 seconds? You want to go for a run? Run for 2 minutes, stop. You're going to meditate? Do it for 2 minutes. Set an alarm, stop. You want to learn French? Study hard for 2 minutes, and then stop. After 120 seconds, make yourself stop and go and do something else. Then come back and do another 120 seconds the following day. And then 120 seconds the following day. And you know what? If you start to do that, the chances are you might want to do a little bit more than 120 seconds. Part of this approach is to reinforce the identity that you want to build. Take going to the gym, for example. If you want to get fit, half of getting fit is getting to the gym, if you're allowed to get to the gym and you're not in lockdown because of COVID. Now, part of that new identity is actually showing up at the place that you're going to work out at. So if you can get yourself there 5 times in the week, or however many you said, you've automatically reinforced the new identity you're trying to build because you've got to the destination of the gym. Even if you didn't do anything, you've made yourself get there and you've started to build that identity because you know that you can do it and you can then take it to the next level. Do another 2 minutes on the treadmill. Get yourself to the gym, do 2 minutes on the treadmill. Job done. Come back the following day. Go to the gym, do another 2 minutes. Maybe do a little bit longer, entirely up to you. But the point is you come back to building this new identity around where you want to be, not where you are. It's creating the smallest possible action that helps move you forwards. Get you to where you want to be, not where you are now. One of the key things to do is to not focus on the end goal, which I know sounds slightly counterintuitive because that's all we're really taught to do. Focus on the end goal, focus on where you want to be, focus on what you're working towards. Actually, don't do that at all. Focus on getting started. Procrastination is purely a mindset that says, don't do it, take the easy option, you're only going to fail anyway, so don't bother. Stop it. Take the smallest possible action that gets you started. Focus on getting started and you'll move towards the end goal. But if you don't even start, the end goal is going to stay where it is. It's just going to become a pipe dream. And pipe dreams very rarely come true, unless you happen to know Aladdin, and hopefully that one wish will get you to where you want to be. But unless Aladdin's actually become real in the last 30 years, I'm not entirely sure that's going to help. That's a really crap analogy. Anyway, the point is you need to take the smallest possible action that helps get you started and helps get you moving on the journey. So think about it. 1 press up is better than not exercising. 1 page is better than not reading. 1 minute meditation is better than not doing it at all. 1 better choice around the food you're going to eat better than not starting your diet. Although, don't do dieting, just try and improve your nutrition habits. That's the point. It doesn't have to be this grand, scary endeavour. It's around creating a 2-minute rule that just says, let's break down this big thing that you want to do into the smallest possible chunk. And then just effing do it. Try it. Nobody's watching. If you want to try yoga at home, pull the blinds down, get the mat out. Nobody cares. But I'm sure you'll feel better for doing it afterwards. Just show up. Give yourself a chance. Take the smallest possible action, and I'm sure you'll be pleased to where you can get to. With that, I'm going to wish you all a good day. If you do have any thoughts or comments, please let me know in the comment section below. I'm interested to hear what your habits are that you want to instill, but please do let me know. And with that, I will see you in the next video. Cheers.